Hello everyone, this is Jake from Down the Weeble Hole, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today I'm here with Jordan, and for the first time ever on our channel, we will be talking about Attack on Titan.
Specifically, Season 4, the currently airing season. And yes, this is the first time we're talking about Attack on Titan. Technically, no, because it was my anime of the year for 2019. If you guys did check out that video. If not, it'll probably be in the cards up top, so you might want to go and give that a watch. But yeah, this season's pretty wild, and it's already a super fun ride. And it should be the final season. However, we only have 16 episodes slated. We're halfway through the season, and this is going to be our halfway point discussion. We'll do another discussion once the season's over and see if the actual story's over, because I have a feeling that it's not going to be concluded yet. But we're going to be talking today about everything that's happened already and our thoughts on all those things.
So, my friend Dom comes up to me every single Monday being like, bro, you're missing out. You got to watch Attack on Titan. It's the hypest thing out there. So I was like, leave me alone. I'll finally do it. And to be quite honest, I don't think it's that amazing, but I do think it's really good. So I guess we can start from there.
I completely agree with you. I think that it doesn't have the same level of hype that Season 3 had. I feel that Season 3 was just a roller coaster, and it was so good, especially Part 2.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
Now that a lot of the world building is pretty much done, we've shifted into a character-focused anime. And that's what I really like about the series, is that it starts action-oriented, then it moves into story-driven, and now we're character-focused. Isayama did a really good job of converting his storytelling throughout the progression of the story and adapted it properly. And I feel like a lot of stories should take, or a lot of writers rather, should take note of what Isayama's done here. And I think this is probably one of the best written stories I've ever seen in my life. Like, that is no exaggeration. Attack on Titan is so well written. We've reached a point in the series now where I don't know who the protagonist is anymore.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way as well. We definitely have a big shift happening. Episode 1 opened up crazy, and I feel like the world building just got so much bigger. We get to see how Marlians and Eldians live a lot more. Episode 1 was like wild, because I'm like, where are we? What's going on? This is not the show that I was watching for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, and it immediately starts with Falco looking at a bird flying above him, right?
You're about to make some Smash Bros references.
Before we go any further, by the way, guys, if you have not watched any of the episodes this season, and especially episode 8, because it just aired, you're definitely gonna want to do that, because there's a lot of spoilers incoming. So
yes,
before we go any further, we haven't revealed anything that's not in the trailer already. So if you haven't watched anything, go and watch it right now and then come back to this video. But yeah, it starts with Falco looking up at a bird flying overhead. We saw that in the trailer, but we didn't know exactly where we were. We find out in the first episode that we're mid-combat in the middle of like a mini war or a territorial war with a neighboring country, and Marley's trying to take them out, and they have anti-Titan artillery, which is insane.
Oh, yeah.
To think of where we started in Season 1, where it seemed like these undefeatable monsters were coming through walls, and we thought that this was the whole world, and now we're here. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's they easily destroy them. I'm like, oh my god, we've come so far.
Yeah, Reiner gets messed up at the end of that episode. It's actually crazy. I thought he had died.
Oh yes,
no lie. He gets shot by all the rounds from the ships from sea.
Oh, yes.
It's pretty wild, but from there on, we get a big action scene in the first episode, and then it slows down a lot, and we get a lot of character building. We get to learn a little bit about Gabi and Falco, but especially Reiner.
I love how much they give to Reiner this season so far.
Yeah.
Because they're giving us the other side of the story, and I really enjoyed it. To finally have all these answers to like the beginning of the story that I was always wondering about.
Yeah, I think the big thing for a lot of people this season so far is Reiner's backstory. That whole traversal through Bertholdt, Reiner, Annie, and Marcel infiltrating into Paradise, and everything that happens during their stay there up until the point where Bertholdt and Reiner are found out, obviously, is just crazy. it's amazing to see that side, and it really gives you a perspective on how tragic of a character Reiner is.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he really is. He was just a kid.
They all were. I really like the story between the Eldians and the Marleyans, or however you call Marleyans. I don't know. Sure.
Yeah, Marleyans. Yeah.
It's quite insane. Like this whole entire backstory to this series was there, and like you never even thought about it. So I'm curious to know if like this was planned out. It must. Yeah, it had to be planned out.
Of course.
But like it's interesting how it was like developed for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Isayama didn't have everything planned out from the very beginning. But when you have this shell to work with and you fill it out as you go, really everything that's within it gets developed as you're writing. I think that's the mark of a true great writer when they do that properly. That's most of the time how stories are started, but it's really how you continue it and how you develop it that shows your prowess as a writer, and he's incredible.
Yeah, like Oda always feels like everything's interconnected.
Yeah.
It makes everything feel like lived in, and I love that about him. Unlike Kishimoto, who feels like he just writes things like at the spur of the moment, and then nothing makes sense at the end.
People like Hiro Mashima sort of piss me off with the way they write their stories. I don't know. Fairy Tail is just not super well written. Like, you can't make comparisons here. Like, Attack on Titan is one of the greatest anime of all time, and it will always be.
Personally, it's not one of my favorites by far. I'm a casual Attack on Titan fan. I will admit that. I like it, but I don't think it's the best, in my opinion.
But I think that you can look at it objectively and see how amazing it is.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really well done, and I understand why it resonates with so many people.
Yeah, it may not specifically cater to your tastes, but it's definitely just an incredibly written story. Moving on to, we talked about Reiner's backstory. Obviously, that was a huge episode. That was super important. What are your other like favorite moments from this season so far?
When we find out that Eren has like infiltrated the Eldians, that was an awesome moment.
This is interesting because you actually didn't know what Eren's voice sounded like subbed, right?
No. Okay. So a few times I was like, why are their voices so different from what I remember? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching it subbed.
Yeah. But when he started talking to Falco, the very first time you hear his voice.
So you would have known.
I didn't actually.
Oh,
and
really?
Cool. It's funny. It's kind of like a 50-50 split. A lot of the community, especially the reaction community, didn't realize that it was Eren speaking, even though his voice is so distinct. Mm-hmm. Like it's hard to miss. But you don't think of it like, oh, well, yeah, obviously this is Eren, because this guy's got long hair, he's injured, he's missing a leg.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's right at the end of the episode, and it's everything that he's saying, right? You're like, all this sounds very familiar. And then when the camera pans up to his eyes, the second you see the green eyes,
yeah,
you're like,
you know,
oh, that's who this is.
Yo, I love his long hair. I think it looks sick on him.
Yeah.
He looks much older, like the little beard. He looks much cooler.
Yeah, he does look cooler, but I don't think it's going to stick. I think that his hair is going to get cut, especially from what we saw in the trailers. Right? I think he's going to shorten it a little bit.
I haven't watched the trailers, so I have no idea.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he looks ripped and shit. Like his hair's not that long. But yeah, he looks very different, but still very well designed. What do you think of how the other characters look?
I hate Mikasa, but that's just
yeah.
I don't like short hair on my female characters in anime.
She's always had short hair. That's irrelevant.
But not like that short.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Armin looks better. He is a better voice actor this time around too, so I don't mind him.
Yeah.
Levi looks the same. I like his voice too. I like his voice too. It's good.
I don't know. At first, it took me a little bit to get used to Mappa's style. Not only the animation, but just the general art. It looks very different than from what Wit did. But I've sort of grown into it, especially after the most recent episode. I think they've been doing a pretty good job with the CG as well. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people initially made it out to be.
Okay, I don't like the CGI. I hate it. That's a major reason I don't like Attack on Titan as much as other people. It's hard for me to like anime with CGI. That's just a personal preference of mine. I don't think it's awful. By far. I think it's probably one of the best CGI. It's just, it really takes me out of the experience when I see it.
Yeah, same here, a little bit. But the more and more I watch newer anime, the more I'm getting accustomed to it. It's sort of growing its place, and it's still in early stages of development as well. Like, the CG is not perfect yet, but you look at series like Fate, where it's perfected and you hardly even notice it, and it's it's something else. Like Ufotable was able to pin it down perfectly, but a lot of other studios haven't yet. They haven't perfected it the way that they did. And I think, yeah, that can take away from the experience. And I was very judgmental of the CG this season because it was noticeable. But if you actually look at it compared to the CG used in the rest of the series, it looks better now.
Okay, do you remember season 3? I think the first half, the giant Titan.
The Colossal Titan?
No, not the Colossal Titan. I think it's like the king. He like turns into a Titan. And he's like crawling on the ground.
Yeah.
That thing looked horrible. That thing
terrible.
Was horrible CGI.
Yeah,
so
and there's an instance with the Colossal Titan as well where the CG was just awful as well.
Oh, yes, I think you're right.
So, like, I think that Mappa's doing a pretty good job. I didn't like what they did with the art at first. It wasn't even the CG. I wasn't too bothered by the CG, but it was the art initially, but it's starting to grow on me. So I think I'm going to be okay with it for the rest of the series. I know the characters so well already that it almost doesn't matter. I'm focusing on the story and the characters and what's going on more than I am the art and the CG and stuff. So at the end of the day, I don't care that much.
That's okay.
But I do agree with you that it does take away from the immersion a little bit. You suddenly realize that you're watching anime because CG pops in out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. Another aspect I really liked about this season was the introduction of Gabi and how she's like a reflection of Eren from when he was a child, seeing all this destruction happen around him. It truly is just a story about revenge, and more revenge just leads to more revenge. I'm curious to know how this series is going to end. Is it just going to be like apocalyptic and just like everyone's wiped out, or are they going to come to a conclusion? Are they going to free the Eldians?
We know that the inheritors of the 9 Titans die after 13 years.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a given. We know that Eren and Armin's fates are sealed, Reiner as well, Zeke as well. Like everybody who has a Titan, Peak and Galliard, they're all going to die eventually. Are we going to get to that point? Are we going to see that? I don't know.
Jordan, one sec. I don't think we mentioned that there was a time skip.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We didn't.
Okay, so one of the biggest moments of this whole season was that there was a 4-year time skip. And I thought that was amazing. It came out of nowhere. Like season 3 just ended and we're in a time skip. I loved it.
I think it was necessary because I think, especially when looking at Reiner's character, sort of the PTSD needs time to develop.
Yeah.
And you already saw signs of it in season 2 and season 3. Like you could see that it was present, but it wasn't like a fully matured condition, and now it is.
One of my favorite scenes is when he's at the kitchen table.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
And he's talking about Sasha.
Yeah.
He's stealing the potato and eating it. And I'm like, is he joking or is he serious?
No.
Like,
so what's happening there is that he's trying to make it seem like it was an awful experience.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like everything about being there was horrible.
He's trying to convince himself.
When in reality, he knows that there were moments where he had a good time while he was there. And that like Sasha's antics were hilarious.
I just love how like serious he was when he was telling the story. It was so good.
Yeah, that it's a funny moment, but at the same time, the seriousness of it, and how real it is that he's doing that, and he almost doesn't even realize it, is crazy. So I think that was a super well written scene.
Yeah, I think the whole brainwashing of the Eldians is horrible.
It's atrocious. But that happens in our world.
Exactly.
You know, that this is not a theme that's alien to us.
Well, this is war, right?
Yeah.
This is legit war. So you're going to do whatever you can so the other opponent looks horrible, and so you can take them down no matter what. And that's, I think, really awesome about Attack on Titan right now, is because before we were fighting Titans and it felt like otherworldly, like something that we would never have to deal with ourselves. But now it just got more real.
Yeah, at first you were disconnected from it and you just wanted to see the Titans get killed. But now you know the history, who the Titans are exactly, what they are. There's a person piloting the mech, essentially, right? Yeah. So the season's already pretty wild.
I have another awesome moment that we can talk about. When Willy gets eaten. I knew it was going to happen, but it was still awesome to see it. It was a great moment. Willy was an interesting character because he marched off to his death. He was introduced and then he was like, yo, I have to die. This is something that I have to do. And yeah, I respected him for it, for sure.
Well, He felt like Erwin a little bit in that way, right?
Yeah, I could see
Because
that.
Erwin did the same thing. For him, it was for the greater good, sending his troops and himself in to die for humanity, and
Yeah.
Willy sort of did the same thing. What do you think of the fight scene in episode 7? Like the whole thing. All of episode 7 is essentially a massive fight scene.
It was a cool episode, I will give you that. I love the Warhammer Titan. I think it's a sick design. I like that it was able to like create all these different weapons out of itself. That was pretty unique. I love the scene, and I'm sure everyone does, when Eren just uses the other, I think it's a jaw titan. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, Galliard's jaw.
Yeah, and just like crushes his jaw into like the crystal to like free Willy's sister, I believe, and just eat her. That was an awesome scene. It was great.
Like Eren's gotten insane, man.
Yeah, during this fight, I was like, yo, he's finally cool. It took like 60 episodes.
I think he created like 3 attack titans.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire scene.
I was like, what is going on? They could do this? Like
how did he get this good at it? Well, we know that Annie did it, right? Back in season 1. She escaped her Titan, and then like 3 minutes later, she's flying with the Levi squad and she turns back.
True, yeah.
So we know that this is possible, but it probably took a lot of training. And arguably, Annie was like the most well-trained of the 4 that came to Paradise. So it makes sense that she was able to do it on command like that. But to see Eren's growth and him able to do that is pretty crazy. Yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah, he's definitely a much cooler character now. But at the same time, he still has those hints of like selfishness, and he's very set in his ways, stubborn, and everything's about killing the enemy. And we saw it in the most recent episode, right? In episode 8, basically, because of what he did, Sasha died.
Yeah, Sasha died, and it was spoiled by me from Jordan a few months ago. He had the need to just come up to me and tell me, and I was like, why?
It was a year ago, actually. It was we were talking at work, and I messaged Jake telling him that I had caught up to Attack on Titan, and he complimented my profile picture at the time, which was Sasha eating a potato. And he's like, nice PFP. I'm like, yeah, it's unfortunate she dies. Well, it was spoiled for me as well.
So he wanted to make me feel the same pain that he was feeling.
Exactly, yeah.
I guess that's fair.
Call me Aaron. Like, that's Look, basically Jordan, what I did.
Revenge is just going to lead to more revenge.
I know, I know.
I'm gonna get you back.
Okay, that's fine. And I'll end it there, I promise. Whatever you do, it's okay. Like the repercussions of Aaron's actions are still showing up to this day. But what I really want to end on this episode is the Zeke moment at the end, because I think this really leads into where the hell this is going.
Yeah, it was funny because I'm like, I kind of know where this story is going. And then I saw Zeke and was like, okay, things are a little different than I thought.
Yeah, the whole dialogue at the end that like this is all part of Zeke's plan as well.
Yeah, because like Zeke was fighting pretty hard. He was launching rocks at people. So I was like,
yeah, but apparently he wasn't.
But
That's nuts. And Gabi and Falco just heard this as well. So they're like freaking out.
Look, if I was Jean, I would have thrown Gabi and Falco out the window, but I guess they're not going to do it.
I mean, then what was the point of introducing the 4, right? I understand killing off 2 of them, but like Gabi and Falco are pretty important.
No, I understand from like a story perspective, but like as a person, if they killed my friend, they're out the window for sure.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. I'd lean toward agreeing with you for sure. But yeah, no, I don't know where this is going. This is very interesting. Is Zeke suddenly on their side now? Is it because Eren's his half-brother? Is it because as he grew older, he started to see Grisha's side and understand that they needed to free Eldia?
Maybe.
I feel like that was it, but I don't know. Obviously, as a kid, he doesn't know what's going on. He sold out his father to save his grandparents, but probably as he grew older, he realized his mistake.
And like he's gonna die soon, right? So
yeah, exactly.
He wants to redeem himself.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It feels that way anyway. But the rest of the season is definitely going to be another roller coaster ride.
Do you think it's just going to be 8 episodes more? Like, do you think they're able to wrap it up?
So what I think is that they're going to do 8 more episodes, and that's going to get really close to the conclusion of the manga. And they're probably going to release a film or 2 to end it.
Wow, okay. That could be something, yeah.
Because the manga is not going to be done being written by the time we reach the 16th episode. I thought the manga
was done.
No.
It's still not done?
It's not done. It's concluding in April.
Yeah, it won't be done.
It won't be done.
By that time.
It'll be close,
Okay.
but it won't be done. So I think either they're going to announce 2 OVA episodes or like extended episodes, or it's going to be a film to cap it off. I'm leaning toward a film mainly because of the success of the Demon Slayer film in Japan.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to want to do, because that's going to rack in the most amount of cash as well.
For sure.
I would prefer it be just straight episodes the whole way through.
Me too.
I don't like such a fantastic series ending on a film. I feel like that's a little bit of a waste. But then again, you look at a universe like Marvel's, and they mix it up between films and long-running series, like television series, and it works.
Yeah, for sure. And like they're just capping it off, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I guess. I think I'd live with it, you know? But
It's not, all you have to do is finish the series and watch a movie. It's not a big deal.
no, but it's just like I want to give one definite final score for the last arc.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't want to have to split it up. That's more just me being petty about it, but
I do have one other topic we can talk about, and that's the reveal about like the king of the Eldians. I forget his name, but the lie he told the people, and
yeah.
like, that was, I don't know, it wasn't like a big surprise to me.
It is a little bit because Aaron Kruger, before he gave his Titan powers to Grisha, you could see that he was adamantly upset with the king because the king ran away rather than fighting. Now it makes a little more sense. The problem was that the Marleyan people decided, oh, well, these people owe us, so we're going to treat them like shit for the rest of eternity.
So things kind of backfired on him.
Yeah, there was no way that he could have known that because he was already gone. He was already in paradise. He made his threat. He let it be known that if ever anybody came to attack them, that the rumbling would start. Now, do you think we're going to see the rumbling?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I feel so as well.
If they're going to bring it up, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's Chekhov's gun, right? You don't you don't use something like that in dialogue in a very important scene in the show and then not utilize it.
All those Titans in the walls, they have to be free.
That's crazy. Point. That's insane. Can you imagine that? Those are all colossals, by the way.
I know, which is so scary.
That's terrifying.
That's going to be the end of the series for sure. Just those walls finally coming apart and those Titans running free.
I think that the OP sort of teases at how the series is going to end. Because the very last scene of the OP is...
Aren't they all frozen together?
It's like the hardening, right? It looks like all the Titans hardened, and Aaron's at the forefront of it. So I don't know. I think that's something to do with how the series is going to end, but I can't be sure. All I know for a fact is that there was an exhibit in Japan for Attack on Titan, and the very last room that you would walk into at the exhibit was how Isayama imagined the ending of Attack on Titan to be.
Okay, interesting.
And it's like a dark room, and all you hear is Mikasa yelling out Eren's name.
Great.
Like she always does.
Yeah, so Aaron's in trouble, like always.
So I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but apparently that's how it ends. But we don't have much longer. We have 8 more weeks, and then we maybe hit the end of the series. And if not, then we're just waiting for either a film or an OVA or something to finish it off. So we're really close to the series that's been ongoing for 8 years.
Yeah, really impressive. You've only been watching, what, for 3, I think?
Not even 2. Not like a very, very short amount of time. Midway through 2019.
I think I started in 2015. So like 6 years for me? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and for me 2019, so 4 years later. Once season 3, part 2 was already done being adapted.
Yeah. I'm going to have to like rewatch the series from the beginning subbed for sure. And I might have like a new love for the series after that. Yeah. I'm really liking what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I think you will. And like, obviously with all the turnoffs from this season, like the art and the CG and stuff, like you haven't gotten a chance to really appreciate the incredible voice acting, by the way. I'm talking like really fucking sick from the beginning of season 1 all the way up to where we are now. Like it's really good. Like even looking at Gabi's voice this season, I think they nailed it. The voice direction is amazing, and the choice of Seiyu, everything's spot on with the series, and I think you're really, really gonna love it once you don't have to hear Bryce Papenbrook's voice.
Bryce Papenbrook.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, if this is your first time on the channel, obviously hit that subscribe button. But yeah, we really don't like Bryce Papenbrook as a voice actor in dubs. But
hey, okay, look, he's not the worst. I'm gonna take.
No, he's the worst.
Okay, he's just fun to shit on.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I don't dislike him as a person. I think he's fine. But I just personally don't like his tone of voice. It like, I don't want to say it makes my ears bleed, but it doesn't sound nice. To me.
The problem is I can't tell. Okay, this is gonna be like a Bryce Papenbrook discussion. Like, yeah. I'm not sure if I don't like the characters he voices or I don't like the characters because he voices them.
I think it's a little bit of a mix of both because Aaron's a little shit at the beginning of the series.
I don't like Aaron. I don't like Kirito.
Shit.
I don't like Meliodas.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like Masumi.
Yeah, Bryce kind of got the short end of the stick. Like, he got some of the worst characters to voice ever.
This is our Attack on Titan discussion. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're gonna end it on that sour note, unfortunately. But there's not much more to talk about. We're just really excited to see how this story concludes. Especially myself, I'm a huge Attack on Titan fan, and I truly believe that by the time we reach the end of this, it might be top 3 anime of all time. That's just me. I think it's up there with Full Metal Alchemist. And I know a lot of people would agree. You may not, and if you don't, let us know why in the comments down below. Please do leave us comments. We love to read them, and it also helps out with the video getting visibility. More comments there are, the more it factors into the algorithm. So if you're trying to help us grow as creators, it would be very much appreciated. As much as we love doing this, it is time consuming. It is difficult at times. There's a lot of editing that goes into it. So we appreciate all of your continued support. We love you guys. And thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out all the links in the description as well. Twitter, Instagram, our Discord, where you can talk to us directly.
Come join our Discord. We love talking to you guys.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
You're welcome.